Alex Hanser here, November 9th, 2016. Now you're going to see some mind control. Now you're going to see some reverse psychology. Now you're going to get that flashback to the day that Obama was inaugurated, or that night. And I remember that night just like it was yesterday. I remember how disappointed I felt. I worked for years up until that point in 2008 to awaken people in my town of Portland, Oregon that gathered to the tune of 50,000 to see Barack Obama speak. For those of you that are the more intelligent members of the audience as opposed to the more challenged, you see through the phony left-right paradigm. You see Obama and Trump, you see Trump and Obama, you see the madness in the masses. And we see how they apologize for Barack Obama. You're a racist, you're a racist, now that Trump is in power. You're anti-US, you're anti-military, you're pro-Hillary, you're all these horrible things if you're not with Trump. Now, pay attention to the depths of the mind control. No matter what Trump does, he can do no wrong. He is the Messiah. His policies with Monsanto, the Federal Reserve. I also predict that Trump's going to do some populist particular maneuvers, these popular maneuvers that'll be well received initially. There could even be a honeymoon phase that extends beyond one day and actually goes on for a few weeks to placate this fallacy that Trump is outside the establishment. But what the man has already told you is his intentions to expand the attacks in the Middle East, referring to people that live in the Middle East as barbarians, which means that people that voted Trump believe that you could just generally call people barbarians that live in other countries. Oh, they've been labeled ISIS members. Well, if the United States has a proxy war with Russia, say in Syria, and if the United States is funding radical extremists, and Russia is picking up the pieces and demolishing whole areas that are basically hotbeds of Islamic extremists, ISIS members, and they're seen as heroes, this is a very, very bad sign. Because the Russians could be seen as heroes intervening in U.S. affairs, going after, quote-unquote, the terror cells. Did you know that the Russians and U.S. have already done joint missions together? And I don't just mean working together in Syria. A joint special ops drill took place in the state of Colorado in the year 2012. And a lot of people didn't understand what was building up back then. A joint New World Order anti-terrorism task force, if you will. But it's not really done to protect Americans and Russians and Europeans against Middle Eastern terrorists. They are incrementally labeling the people that live within these countries as terrorists, as dissidents, as people that for years have already been marginalized a certain way and have found their lives surveilled through this surveillance society. So when you see the Russians and the U.S. working together to take out the terror cells all the way back in 2012, you can actually go back prior to 9/11 and see the FBI and the FSB sharing their intelligence data on their citizens. This is nothing new. There was intelligence sharing on citizens between Russia and the United States prior to 9/11. So there's a real reason they're bringing you the Putin-Trump alliance. And it's packaged as something that's going to bring peace to the world. It's going to bring devastation. And eventually, Putin and Trump will turn on each other. You know, they'll have the champagne. They'll have the dinner and dances, and everybody's just going to be clapping around the world thinking that we're about to go into world peace. Of course, there's no such thing as world peace when you have a world coalition that's bombing back parts of the earth back to the Stone Age. And then, of course, you have the Nazi elements out of Russia today and the Nazi influence. That's, of course, planted. Of course, you have organic white supremacy that is real, but a lot of it's directed. And so years ago, people will talk about exposing the New World Order and what's going on. And now they're blaming Middle Eastern immigrants for the New World Order. The New World Order is the Middle Eastern immigrants or the Middle Eastern human. And so there's the fake conspiracy that's replaced knowledge of the real conspiracy. The real conspiracy turns humans against humans. The real conspiracy isn't run by the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and the Clintons. It's run by the dark, unseen realms that extracts pleasure and energy from turning entire nations against nations. And that's what we're seeing here. More specifically, nations working together to effectively execute a genocide. And this program has been ongoing for some time. This genocidal program is not new. We went from a period where the anti-war, left and right in some cases, were together arm in arm in this war, in this occupation. And now all of that is gone. And now all of that is gone. People have now confused liberty with bombing innocent men, women, and children. They've taken on this counterfeit meme that Obama was a Muslim, not a puppet of the New World Order, as we were saying when he came out. They twisted it. They perverted it. And it became Obama the Black Muslim. Not Obama serving the same interests that put him in power, same thing as Trump. If only people saw that. If only there was a good Alex Jones. It's like Superman 3 where there was like an evil Superman and a good Superman. It's like now we have like an evil Alex Jones. What would a good Alex Jones be saying today through a megaphone, raging against the machine, if the good Alex Jones was activated? How many people remember my other warnings and predictions, in addition to my prediction that Trump would be president, that this would lead to World War III, that this would lead to white slavery, and it may not happen in the first term. If this is anything like the Simpsons episode, as many people have noted, the amount of strange things that have been predicted in the Simpsons episode, and then people were talking about Trump being elected. This being featured in the Simpsons episode, people being, oh, that's crazy. Oh, that's not an old Simpsons episode. That came out after Trump was already running. I mean, the way that people lie openly without realizing how stupid they sound. No shame at all for being of a low level of intelligence, but they just say it anyway. Without realizing how dumb that they're sounding. And so you're going to see all types of excuses, Messiah worship. This is a time for a lot of friends to go in different directions, relationships, because of value systems. Okay, if somebody else values the concept that, I can't even believe that we're actually going back into the dark ages like this. It makes things very dangerous for those of us that aren't full on 100% European in appearance. And a lot of you that are wrapped up in this white supremacy ideology that voted for Trump, why are you not able to see that he is a part of the agenda to destroy the United States and to bring the United States to its knees through a major attack on a nation state? A pushing of a button. I've talked about this before there even was a 2016 election. My warnings of World War III go back to 2008. And you don't have the crystal ball to see that we are heading in a certain direction. And at some point, someone's going to be selected to push a button or do the unthinkable. Maybe a mass roundup within the United States of those with Semitic-sounding last names, or Arabic-sounding last names, or Persian-sounding last names, to force China and Russia to respond. They're already being built up as the world saviors. There's going to be a little bit of confusion for maybe a few hours or a few days for, well, but wait a minute, I thought U.S. was bad and Russia was good. And now that they got their boy Trump in, is the U.S. still bad? And is the Trump still good? See, a lot of people don't know how this is going to work out between Trump and Putin. And they're going to see. It's going to start out warm. And then something else is going to happen. And Trump may be a one-term president if it's anything like the Simpsons episode. And then we're going to see Hillary come in. I already did a podcast on how Hillary, while she's a part of the same New World Order like Barack Obama and others, she didn't create it. If she is devil incarnate, why isn't there as much noise about other servants of the New World Order also being demonic? Also having that aspect of the supernatural, supernaturally evil within them. We have people just coming out acting like this is one big tabloid newspaper. Hillary the devil. Hillary literally the whore of Babylon. Literally. Hillary Clinton, the whore of Babylon. Literally. As Donald Trump comes out of the water like a Messiah, even to those that are non-religious, as there are those that were non-religious that saw Obama as the Messiah. You don't have to be religious, per se, to respond to Messiah-like programming. So we're in a period of time to where if you criticize Trump, it's like a replay of what happened to us when we criticized Obama. It's the same thing all over again. Now, a lot of people thought that Obama would end the world. A lot of people thought that Obama was the Antichrist. A lot of people thought that Obama would stop the election from taking place. I have predicted, and this is another prediction that I am making now, and I made on Facebook, but not yet on YouTube. But I am predicting that you're going to see the Obama backslap, handshake, as the baton is handed to Trump during inauguration. I'll be back with more podcasts. Subscribe if you're new. Promote these videos to others. I'm an underdog in the alternative media. If you think I'm sharing truth, share the truth with others. I'm Alex Ansari, sign off for November 9th, 2016.